Welcome back to the Metals Investment Forum. I'm here with Stephen Zadka, the Executive Chairman of Cerro de Pasco. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you.
Okay, that's such an exciting moment for Cerro de Pasco. You are so close to a major milestone, only the fifth in the Peruvian history. Can you tell us what's coming, the easement?
Yes, we're about to finally obtain an easement to gain access to our El Metallurgista concession so that we can begin the tailings drilling and metallurgical testing campaign.
Well, excellent. So how soon do you expect the easement will be in your hand and then you can start the drilling?
So we just received the final opinion from the Ministry of Agriculture. It went through many different ministries, and the Ministry of Agriculture was the final one. So we expect to receive the permission to begin drilling activities within the next few weeks.
Wow, excellent, excellent. So you will be theoretically starting drilling in October. So how what's your drilling campaign? How many holes do you plan to drill? And then when can you get the resource and PEA out?
Our permit is for 40 holes at this time. We expect to put out a resource estimate around the first quarter of next year.
First quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Can you tell us how are you going to fund the drilling?
We have $2 million that was made available to us by Glencore. We announced it in March. We are able to draw down on it when we obtain the permit to begin drilling activities.
Okay.
So it's a binding agreement, and it's payable in return 12 months after we start production.
Well, that's a very generous term. I don't see so many kind of a loan from Glencore for a while, for quite some time.
Right. Yeah, they have a special interest in seeing that these tailings are successful, that they're able to potentially obtain them in order to reprocess them at their nearby milling facilities.
Can you tell us why this is so important to Glencore?
Cerro de Pasco has rather large reclamation liability. There's a large open pit. There's several facilities that are over an area that's quite large, and there's not really much ore left to process, from underground or open pit material. So ideally, we would like to reprocess the tailings and put the waste back in the pit and then reclaim, the operation basically through responsible reprocessing of the old tailings and stockpile, which today are, very valuable in terms of grades. So it's very interesting for all parties involved.
So basically, this is a win for Glencore. They don't need to put up a $300 million, I heard, for the closure expense.
Yes,
And
it would
then
be a win.
yeah, and then they will reprocess. Hopefully, you have a profit sharing agreement if they're not taking over you one day. So
Yes.
To reprocess this for how long? 20 years or 15 years? Like I saw depend on PEA, of
Depends
course.
on the throughput. Yeah, if we're able to achieve 25,000 tons a day, which we believe we can, we could process all the tailings and stockpiles in the next 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So basically, they reprocess it and then put it in, and finally, then they will potentially closure, or they can continue to mine if they can get a super permit.
Yeah, I mean, let's focus on the next, 10, 15, 20 years ahead of us, and we'll see what happens thereafter.
All right, great. Tell us, what do you expect from historical data? You have a lot of historical data, right? What do you expect in the tailing? So when you start drilling, what are you looking for?
Well, we know we have significant values of zinc, silver, lead, copper, and a small amount of gold. But what we're really excited about is critical minerals such as indium, gallium, and germanium. In an ICP analysis that we've done previously, we found significant amounts of gallium. Unfortunately, it didn't include germanium and indium, but we believe in what we've seen is that those minerals are oftentimes associated with these kind of deposits, and were rejected because they weren't looking for them in the past. So we'll look at those, and we'll see if we can in our analysis and studies going forward, we'll see if we can perhaps incorporate a new process to recover values out of those critical minerals.
In addition to copper, silver.
In addition to standard flotation, concentrate production process.
What type of what type of copper grade do you expect? And for example, they used to call Cerro de Pasco copper mine, right? So
Right.
what kind of copper they were processing, and then what do you expect the grade in the tailing right now?
Yeah. So historically, from what we've obtained all the old metallurgical balances from the previous mining operation, they used to process 4% copper, and they were achieving about a 60% recovery. So the balance of that copper should be in the tailings.
So basically 1.6% copper.
Yeah,
You're
that's right.
expecting over 1% copper.
Yeah.
That's actually as good as underground mine these days, 1% copper.
Yeah.
And then those are just in the tailing, you can just pump it over to the processing plant.
That's right.
That sounds a should be very high margin business.
It should be, yes.
Okay, how about silver? How about gold?
Silver, we're expecting 2 to 3 ounces per ton.
2 to 3
on average. Yeah.
On average. Okay. So I saw in your presentation, if you put the silver equivalent, this will be the largest silver deposit.
Yeah, on a silver equivalent basis, the tailings are about 450 million ounces of silver. Collectively, yes.
Collected.
Yeah.
Okay, how about
silver equivalent?
Silver equivalent, right.
Yes.
That's the tailing, right?
Yeah.
How about stockpile together?
The stockpile is, considering 100 million tons of stockpile, it's about 350 million ounces of silver equivalent. So combined, around 800 million ounces of silver
800
equivalent.
million.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I would say about 25% of that is attributed to silver itself, and then another 25% to zinc, and then the rest of the values over copper, gold, and lead.
well, that's excellent because so you can basically mine whatever is the best because whatever that has the highest value, right? So in certain period, now the copper is caught, gold is good, and then you can mine more copper and gold area.
Yeah, tailings are low carbon emissions. It has all the winning conditions, so sometimes, why open a new mine when you can repair an old one and process all the material out of it.
Good. Can you tell us how these community people see this future to your project, reprocessing of the tailing?
Yeah, the community is very supportive of our project. We have an agreement with the communities already for many, many years. They're advocate for us. They're very, upset that it's taken so long, for us to achieve this simple easement. And they see this as a future benefit for their families and a value that they've kind of been, they've lived by these tailings literally. They drive by it every day, and they love the fact that we're going to come in and reprocess it, reclaim it. It'll be a lake again one day, and they'll benefit from it.
Wow, excellent! Especially, I was you used to have a picture that kids were playing soccer in front of the old stockpile, and then there's a lead in every in the groundwater. So hopefully this will be the complete cleanup, and then become, instead of an environmental disaster, become the biggest cleanup project on Earth.
A big cleanup
And benefit local and hopefully
and the state through tax income that they'll receive as a result.
Exactly, and a little bit go to Cerro de Pasco shareholder as well.
Yes, that's the plan.
Great. Thank you. Excellent. So in a few weeks, we will open the bottle of champagne and celebrate.
Stay tuned. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
It'll be the happiest day.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.